If you're watching this right now, there's a part of you that already knows something isn't right. You've been working, trying, pushing, doing everything you were told would lead to success. And yet, you're still not rich, not free, not where you thought you'd be. And the worst part? You can't even explain why. Because from the outside, it looks like you're doing everything right. But what if I told you the reason you'll never get rich has nothing to do with how hard you work? What if the real reason is something so simple, so invisible, that you've been repeating it every single day without even noticing? Stay with me, because once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it, and everything about money will change. 2. The system you were placed in. From the moment you were young, you were given a script. Go to school, get good grades, find a stable job, work hard, save money, retire someday. Sounds safe, sounds logical. But here's the truth. Nobody says out loud. That path was never designed to make you rich. It was designed to make you stable, predictable, controllable. Because think about it. If everyone became financially free, who would show up to jobs they hate? Who would follow rules they don't question? The system doesn't reward freedom. It rewards compliance. And the moment you understand that, you stop blaming yourself, because it was never just about effort. It was about direction. 3. You were taught to trade time. Here's the biggest trap most people never escape. You were taught to trade time for money. And at first, it feels fair. You work an hour, you get paid. Simple. But here's the hidden problem. Time is limited. No matter how hard you work, you can't create more hours in a day. So your income will always have a ceiling. Meanwhile, the people getting rich aren't trading time. They're building systems, assets, leverage, things that keep paying them, even when they stop working. That's the difference. One person works harder, the other builds smarter. And over time, that gap becomes massive. 4. The invisible habit keeping you broke. Now, this is where it gets uncomfortable, because the real reason you're not getting rich isn't just the system. It's a habit, a daily pattern. That feels normal, but silently destroys your progress. And that habit is consuming more than you create. Think about it. Every day, you spend time scrolling, watching, consuming content, buying things that give temporary relief. But very little of your time is spent building something, learning something that compounds, creating something that grows. And over time, this creates a dangerous imbalance because consumers stay stuck, creators gain power, and most people never switch sides. 5. The illusion of being busy. Let's be real. You're not lazy. You're busy. You have responsibilities, work, stress, pressure. But here's the truth. Being busy is not the same as making progress. You can spend years doing things that feel productive, but never actually move you forward. Answering emails, attending meetings, working overtime. All of it feels important, but none of it builds ownership. And wealth comes from ownership, not activity. So you stay in motion, but never gain momentum. 6. The comfort trap. Here's something most people won't admit. They don't actually want wealth. They want comfort. And comfort feels safe, predictable, familiar. But comfort kills growth because the actions that create wealth are uncomfortable. Starting something new, taking risks, learning skills that feel hard at first, being misunderstood. Most people avoid these things, so they stay where they are, not because they can't grow, but because they won't tolerate discomfort. And that decision costs them everything. 7. Your identity is holding you back. This is deeper than money. It's about identity. Because you don't just act based on what you want, you act based on who you believe you are. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you'll keep making decisions that match that identity, even without realizing it. You'll play small, avoid opportunities, doubt yourself at the worst moments, and confirm your own limitations. But here's the shift. Wealth starts the moment your identity changes, when you stop seeing yourself as someone who survives and start seeing yourself as someone who builds. Everything changes. 8. You were never taught how money actually works. School taught you how to earn money, but not how to grow it, not how to multiply it, not how to control it. And that's why most people stay stuck, because earning money is only the first step. The real game is what you do after you earn it. Do you spend it, save it, or invest it into something that grows? The wealthy understand this early. The rest learn it too late. 9. The power of leverage. Here's what separates the top 1% from everyone else. Leverage. It's the one concept that changes everything, because the wealthy don't rely on effort alone. They amplify it. They understand that doing more work isn't the goal. Getting more results from the same work is. So instead of trading hours, they build systems. A business that runs without them. Investments that grow while they sleep. Technology that scales their reach to thousands, even millions. And people, teams that expand what they can accomplish alone. That's leverage. It's not about being smarter or working harder. It's about playing a different game. Think about it like this. If you push a rock by hand, it moves slowly. But if you use the right tool, you can move something 10 times heavier with less effort. That's exactly how money works. The top 1% don't just act, they position. They design moves that multiply. So one decision, one system, one investment can create results over and over again. Meanwhile, most people stay stuck doing everything manually, working harder each year for only slightly better outcomes. And the gap keeps growing, not because of luck, but because of leverage. 10. The fear that keeps you stuck. Let's talk about fear, because this is the silent force controlling everything, not your skills, not your intelligence. Fear. Fear of failure, of trying something and not succeeding. Fear of judgment, of what people might say if you step outside the norm. Fear of losing what little you have, the small stability you've built. So without realizing it, you start playing defense. You choose safety over opportunity. You stay in your lane. You avoid big moves. You wait for the perfect moment that never comes. And on the surface, it feels responsible. It feels smart. But underneath, it's keeping you stuck. Because here's the truth most people don't want to face. The biggest risk is staying exactly where you are, doing the same things, thinking the same way, living the same cycle. Because while you're trying to avoid loss, you're also avoiding growth. And growth is where everything changes. Every opportunity, every breakthrough, every level of financial power exists on the other side of discomfort. So the question isn't, how do I avoid fear? It's, am I willing to move forward despite it? Because that decision is what separates those who stay stuck from those who finally break free. 11. The moment. Everything changes. There comes a moment when something clicks. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, deep inside your mind. You stop blaming the system. Stop blaming your past. Stop blaming your situation. And more importantly, you stop waiting. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for someone to show you the way. Because suddenly, you see it clearly. Nothing is coming to save you. And instead of feeling heavy, it feels freeing. Because you realize it's on you. Not in a negative way, not in a pressure-filled way, but in a powerful way. Because if it's on you, you can change it. You can learn what you were never taught. You can adapt when things don't work. You can build something from nothing. And slowly, you can create a completely different path. One that doesn't depend on permission, or luck, or perfect timing. That's the shift. That's the moment everything changes. Because from that point on, you're no longer reacting to life. You're designing it. And once you reach that mindset, there's no going back. That's the moment people stop surviving and finally start building real financial power. 12. The shift from consumer to creator. This is the turning point. The moment everything begins to change, not outside, but inside you. The moment you stop just consuming and start creating. Because up until now, most of your time has been spent watching, scrolling, learning passively, taking in information, without turning it into something real. And it feels productive, but it keeps you in place. Creation is different. Creation forces you to think, to act, to take what you know, and turn it into something valuable. And no, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to start. Messy, uncertain, even uncomfortable. Because creation builds something consumption never can: skills, real, usable skills. It builds confidence because you begin to see what you're capable of, and most importantly, it builds momentum. Small actions, repeated daily, start compounding. A video, a skill, a small project, a new idea, each one stacking on top of the other, until one day you look back and realize something powerful. You're no longer stuck. You're no longer waiting. You're no longer dependent. You're in control. And that shift from consumer to creator is where financial power truly begins. 13. What you need to do now. If you've made it this far, you already feel it. That quiet shift inside you, that awareness you didn't have before. And now, this is the moment that actually matters, because information alone won't change your life. Understanding won't make you rich. Only action will. Not motivation, not inspiration. Those come and go. Action stays. Small, consistent, focused. That's what builds real results. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to start moving in a different direction. Start learning something valuable, something that can actually increase your income. Start building something of your own, even if it's small at first. A skill, a project, a system. Start thinking long-term instead of chasing short-term comfort. Because the truth is, wealth is not created in one big moment. It's not luck. It's not one opportunity. It's built through repeated decisions, daily choices, what you focus on, what you learn, what you create, and what you ignore. Each decision either moves you closer or keeps you where you are. So don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now, because the life you want is built by what you do next. So now you know. The reason you're not rich was never about luck or talent or even hard work. It was about patterns, systems, and understanding the game you were playing. But now you see it. And once you see it, everything changes. Because you can't go back to being unaware. You can't unsee the truth. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with it? Because the difference between staying stuck and building real financial power starts with one decision. And that decision is yours.